Hello, this is a video to help you out with your discussion preparation questions, in Unit 4, Lesson 6. So we're just going to go through these questions. I'm going to just ask you some kind of more like prompting questions, maybe guide you to certain places in the reading that you can use to answer these questions. So this is for you if you missed class today, and you need to still answer these questions, or if you're just having trouble answering them, hopefully this is helpful. Okay, so question 1, how does Morrison structure her chapter to convey society's view of the Breedloves' residence, their home? So remember, when we talk about structure, we're talking about what kinds of moves the writer is making, first, second, third, why they come in a particular order, that kind of thing. So if we look at the chapter that we're looking at, so remember we are in chapter 2, pages 33 through 37. You'll notice that the title of the section is that kind of part from the Dick and Jane book about here is the house. It is green and white. It has a red door. It is very pretty, very pretty, very pretty. So that's the title of the section. And then what's described in the first paragraph, an abandoned store. So what words stand out to you in this paragraph? Some that stand out to me are, it doesn't harmonize with the rest of the buildings, right? It kind of sticks out, rather it foists itself upon the eye of passerby. So it's like, it's kind of sticks out to people walking by, in a manner that is both irritating and melancholy. Melancholy means sad. So it's both annoying and sad. So what does all this say, right? The question is, what does all this say, the structure, we have title versus first paragraph, about society's view of the Breedloves' home? If this is how it's being described, and this is the title of the chapter, right? What does that say about society's view of the Breedloves' home? So go ahead and pause the video, answer question 1 right now. Hopefully those questions were helpful. Do that now. Okay, question 2. So question 2 asks, who is the narrator of this chapter and how do you know? So first of all, in the chapter before, we know we were seeing Claudia's perspective, right? She has been the narrator. Does it seem like she is the narrator here? So, right, it's kind of saying at one time when the building housed a pizza parlor, right? So it's talking about like the past, all these different iterations that the building has gone through. So does it seem like Claudia could be our narrator here? And how do we know, right? And how does the narrator describe the Breedloves' furniture? It says like the living quarters are unimaginative. There is nothing more to say about the furnishings, anything but describable. They're aged. So this narrator, whoever it is this narrator objective or subjective? So like, is this narrator telling the truth, right? If there is truth, if is this narrator telling the truth about what the Breedloves' home looks like, or is this narrator making a judgment in some way about this home? And so what does this suggest about the narrator's opinion of the Breedloves? And how is that opinion similar or different from the white norms of society in the 1930s, right? So all of these questions are about the narrator. So why does Morrison shift the narrator, right? What do you know, or what idea does the narrator represent? If it's not Claudia anymore, right? And how do we know it's not Claudia? And why does Morrison choose to shift the narrator here? What is that showing about, society's judgment of the Breedloves? So go ahead and answer question 2 right now in your classwork document. And then number 3, how is the Breedloves' home characterized? And how does this characterization symbolize the family? So we want to focus on like word choice, the descriptions of the narrator. So how is the description of the storefront in paragraph 1 similar to the description of the Breedlove family in paragraph 3, right? So we have this description of the storefront in paragraph 1, an abandoned store that is irritating and melancholy. People simply look away when they pass it. So that's a description in paragraph 1 of the storefront where they live. And then in paragraph 3, how is that similar to the description of the family in paragraph 3? So the family is described as nestled together in the storefront, festering together in the debris of a realtor's whim. They slipped in and out of the box of peeling gray, making no stir in the neighborhood, no sound in the labor force, and no wave in the mayor's office. Each member of the family in his own cell of consciousness, each making his own patchwork quilt of reality, collecting fragments of experience here, pieces of information there. From the tiny impressions gleaned from one another, they created a sense of belonging and tried to make do with the way they found each other. So, right, how does this home that they're living in, how is that similar to the way that they are described in this paragraph? The description of the furniture, right? We can focus on the furniture. There's nothing more to say about the furnishings. So how's the furniture being described? How does that compare to the actual family themselves as well? At the end, towards the end of the chapter, talks about a couch that they bought. The sofa had been purchased new, but the fabric had split across the back by the time it was delivered. The store would not take the responsibility. So this is the delivery person saying, we can't do anything about it, right? Like, I'm too bad, basically, sucks for you. And, Charlie Breedlove, the father, saying, I don't want this couch if it's torn, if it's bought new. And they're saying, look, we can't do anything about it, right? So how does that man from the store represent society's treatment of the Breedloves? And then how does that split couch symbolize the family, right? So you still had to pay $480 a month to pay for this sofa. That started off split, no good, and humiliating, right? You couldn't take any joy in owning it. The joylessness stank, pervading everything. The stink of it kept you from painting the beaverboard walls, from getting a matching piece of material for the chair, even from sewing up the split, which became a gash, which became a gaping chasm that exposed the cheap frame and cheaper upholstery. It withheld the refreshment in a sleep slept on it. So this description of the couch, how does this symbolize the Breedlove family? Okay, so go ahead and answer question 3. Feel free to rewind back through this video, look back through these questions, these prompting questions to help you out. And I hope that was helpful for you.